books, and coffee will have me living my best life every time. Well, hello. My name is Flo. This is the Grape Jelly Library, where we love to talk about books. Thank you so much for joining me. I always look forward to your visit. Today we are talking about V.C. Andrews' Flowers in the Attic. Why are we talking about this book? Because I just recently finished reading it. I finished this probably about, let's see, it's August 16th. Probably about 5 or 6 days ago, but I haven't had time to, record my thoughts. And although I am on my way out the door, now I have some errands to run and I have a birthday party to go to. I wanted to stop really quick and bring you my views on what I thought about this. I'm going to say classic shocker of a book. I'm sure everybody knows or has heard that this book is somewhat of a shocker. I guess how shocking kind of is on the same wavelength as a pain level tolerance. You know how some people have a higher threshold for pain? Well, some people just might have a higher threshold for shock and awe. I don't know where I fall in that spectrum. I'm going to say somewhere safely and soundly in the middle. Was I shocked at the goings-on in this book? At times. Was I disturbed by some of the goings-on in this book? At times. Frustrated. At times. In disbelief. At times. Did this book make me mad? At times. This book is a whole ball of mixed emotions. All right, so here's what I think of it. Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that I am giving it a 5-star rating. I am. I'm giving it 5 stars. This is the story. Well, first, I'm getting ahead of myself. I have heard about this book. And, it's probably a well-known fact that back in the 70s, when this book was published, you probably couldn't go to a grocery store without seeing some sort of copy of this or one of her other many books. But I didn't care. I was just along for the ride. I was just a little girl and I didn't really, pay too much attention to Mrs. Andrews or her body of work. So that really didn't apply to me. Not applicable. All right. Now that I am older, I have somehow, some way through the years picked up that it is a disturbing book, which makes me not really want to read it. So I never did, never bothered. Only a slight curiosity. I'm one of these people where, for the most part, I am fine doing my thing. And I never want, to go with the trends or the masses or anything like that. I'm an introvert and I just like to do my thing, and I don't really put myself out there in any way. I would say that I'm quiet, how do I want to say this? I don't know what I want to be saying here. I'm just me. I'm not looking to go with the crowd. If going with the crowd means that I have to sacrifice my peace and sanity, then I'm just going to stay over here in my quiet, peaceful little nook of the world. Okay, so that's probably why I didn't read the book. I didn't want to read anything gruesome or disturbing that's going to twist my mind. And I also didn't want to just do it because everybody else did. But there is, and occasionally will be, in the back of my head, something that, you know, I wish I knew what everybody else knows pertaining to like certain subject matters. So where this book is concerned, there are a whole slew of people out there in this world who know, and here's me in my naivety, I don't have a clue. I was just going to keep on trucking along in my life's journey, and that would have been that. Except for MJ over at Reading This Life said that she was going to be reading this book for Garb August. And you know what? I thought, well, it's sometimes better to go through something that is a little bothersome, troublesome, unknown, chartered territory. It's easier sometimes to have a buddy. And so I went ahead and tuned into her Discord, and a bunch of other people were reading it. And I thought, you know, there's power in numbers. So if ever I'm going to read this book, now is going to be the time. All right. I was anxious to get to it. I jumped in with both feet right into the cold, murky waters, not knowing what to expect. And I came out of it a believer. I believe in this book. And I believe in this writing style. There were parts of this book that were just a smidge drawn out. Probably unnecessarily prolonging the same scenarios. Unnecessary. But what are you going to do? All right, so I'm going to tell you just a little bit about the story in case you're like me and you have never read it. I'll do my best not to give any spoilers. So this is the story about a happy little family, brother, sister, who are close in age, mother, father, who find themselves with a surprise pregnancy, which is revealed as twins are on the way. This is a close-knit, loving, caring, positive talking family. It seems quite ideal. Somewhere along the storyline, we lose the father through death. And the mother is now faced with what to do. How do I survive? How do I raise these children? How do I live without my right-hand man who was my everything? So she decides that she's going to pen a letter to her parents who are extremely wealthy. We have a lot of C's in this family. So I guess I should start calling them by their names. We have Christopher, who is the father. We have Chris, who is named after his father. He is the son. We have Carrie, who is the female twin, and Corey, who is the male twin. They're the little babies. And we have Kathy, who is the sister of Chris, Corey, and Carrie. And Kathy is close in age to her brother Chris. And then we have the mother, Corinne. And Corinne says, you know, let me just see if I can get into my father's good graces again. And then maybe somehow, some way, I can get written back into the will that she was excluded from on the count of, turn me down if you don't want a spoiler, she married her father's stepbrother, which would make it her step-uncle. Yikes. Whatever floats your boat. So that didn't sit well with the parents, especially the father. Like, how dare you marry my stepbrother? You know, out, don't come back, written out of the will. There'll be nothing in the future as far as any kind of financial settlements or paving any kind of financial road for you. Beat it. That is how the relationship ended between Corinne and her mom and dad. So she's going to try and, you know, say, oh, I'll do what you want. I'll be at your beck and please just give me another chance. So upon receiving the letter and reading it, they agree to let Corinne and her children come to the manor, except for father does not know she has 4 children by Christopher. The mom knows, the dad does not. So up to the attic your children go. And that's where the children were told they were going to stay just a couple days till I, you know, explain everything to my dad and get him to come around. But first I need to secure a financial situation before I can reveal that I have children. A couple days turns into years. I think it was a little over 3 years up in this attic, where the children learn to be resourceful. The grandmother, Wicked, and quite often would inflict beatings on her daughter, Corinne, and Corinne's children. They had like a list of 20 rules that they had to abide by. And if at any time any of these rules were broken, it was basically like off with your head. Be prepared to be severely punished because grandma don't tolerate that. All right. Now, within that low tolerance for rule breaking, there was an incident between Corinne and her mother that I did not like, and Corinne complied, and that really rubbed me the wrong way. That highly agitated me. You know, they say I'm a lover, not a fighter. But I am definitely one to stick up for myself and my children. And so that just, oops, am I giving too much away there? My apologies. I'm just going to shut up, and you can just, concerning that, and you can just make of that what you will. Now, concerning the children, yeah, turn me down again. One more spoiler. My apologies if you do not want to go there. Yes, a lot of people know that there was some sort of relationship between the two eldest children. My goodness, my goodness. That is a tisk tisk, tisk tisk. Huh. Let me give it one of these. Oh, goodness. Yeah. So that is kind of just like, I'm just touching on a little premise here. Good book. Glad I read it. I'm happy with the way the story ended. And do I recommend it? Yes, I recommend it. If you are like me, I'm just starting to get into all the books that all of the world has already read, except for me. It was my first time reading Jaws, or I never saw the movie. So I'm not a movie watcher, unless Elvis is in it. But, you know, I'm a better reader than I am a movie watcher, because with reading, I could read, I could get up, I could move around, I could stretch, I could, you know. With a movie, I feel like I'm obligated to sit there. So, you know, yay for all the moviegoers out there. It's a big business, but movies aren't for me. I can't sit still for too long. I gotta be a mover and a shaker, and, you know, I gotta change it up and do things. But yeah, I'm a better book reader, so I could read the book. Plus, I don't want to see any kind of knifing or gun violence or abuse or babies crying or anybody screaming in pain or horror or anything like that. I would just like to read it, conjure up my own visions in my mind. I can put the brakes on and only take it so far in my vision, where with movies, it's a heck of a lot more dramatic. We all know that. It's a little bit more played up, and I just don't want to, I don't want to do that. No twisting of my mind. Or at least I'm in control of how twisted it's going to get if I read the book versus watching the movie. But anyways, I don't want to ramble on. I don't want to make this video too long. Very interesting book. I'm going to say it. Katina. Have you read this? If you haven't, holla. I think you should. I'm calling you out, girlfriend. I think you should. Get this on your TBR. That's it. That's all I have for you, friends. Off to do some errands before we part ways. No, I love you. Be well, be good, and be reading. May all your book dreams come true.